Bro, no one wants to take the journey. We're back, Mike Cernovich, Cernovich.com, Cernovich.com. And, of course, as everybody in the world knows, Donald J. Trump has been diagnosed with the coronavirus, he and the First Lady, so I'll share my thoughts on it. My famous last words: this is how you bury a hole for yourself. Right, right. This is literally called digging your own grave. So I'm digging my own grave in a way, but not really. Here's why. I think he survives. I think he survives it well. And I think that on the net is the best thing that could have happened to him if you were going to get a coronavirus infection. Right? Here's what I mean. If Trump were going to get coronavirus, now would be the time to do it. It's right before the election. He's the main character in Act 3, surviving the journey. Right? I was thinking today, it was just like these mother effers aren't going to let us have a day off of the simulation. We're in a movie, and it's got to be action packed. It's got to be suspenseful. So, what would happen in the movie of Donald Trump? Right? Because remember, I told you guys this a year ago. There's going to be this. Then the movie of Donald J. Trump, the hero contracts coronavirus on October 1st, October surprise, and prevails and then wins by a landslide. That's what would happen in the story. So my view, my prediction is that he will survive. He'll do well, and then he'll lead us through the aftermath like Moses. This is his Red Sea moment. This is a archetypal story that he's living. He's Moses now, leading people through the desert. The Red Sea parts, he walks through it, and then he can now speak with experience and authority on coronavirus. So that's my prediction. I'm not surprised at all. Now, what I saw as I was watching Ali Alexander's Periscope, follow him at ALI on Twitter, and he made a good point, which is that Trump needs to use this as an opportunity to talk to the American people directly, live stream it every day. Trump needs to use this opportunity to lead with love. The way I look, here's the way I look about the world is that challenges are opportunities. This is Trump's opportunity to lead with love, to come out from this with so much love in his heart that if you oppose him, you look like a ghoul, right? Just like people last night who are tweeting about, Chrissy Teigen, that kind of stuff. You look like a ghoul. The woman has a miscarriage, and whatever you think about her, and I don't think nice things about her. You talk about that, you're a ghoul, a total ghoul. And that's how Trump can lead with this. He can come out and say, you know what, I faced my mortality. I realized I recommitted to God. I recommitted to the country. Here's how we're going to do it going forward. Boom. It's a pivot. It's a huge pivot. It's a huge opportunity. Now, will that happen? I don't know.
Are you kidding me?
What's that?
He's gonna blow it. He's not gonna.
Sean is skeptical. Sean is pessimistic.
He blows all of his opportunities.
I mean, Sean is in the movie. We're all in the movie. But you have to look at the structure of the movie. Like, imagine you're watching a James Bond film or Mission Impossible. Oh my God, the guy's going to fall from the net. His parachute broke. He's going to die. But when you watch the movie, you're like, no, he's not. He's the main character. He's not going to die. Right? You know what I mean? Because that's what people don't understand about the architecture of the reality we're living in is that if you're watching Mission Impossible and you're about to see Tom Cruise jump from a plane and the parachute drops, you go, oh no, we're only 5 minutes in the movie. He's not going to die. There's no movie without him, right? So even though it's suspenseful and you're, oh, what's going to happen next? You know that he's not going to die because you know that that's not what happens in movies. So you're like, whew, at least I know he's not going to die just yet. And then you go through the whole movie. Maybe he, plots and twists and turns and everything like that. So that's how I've always viewed Trump is we're living in total recall. Trump is some futuristic person, and he said, I'm going to travel back in time, and I want the whole world to Think about me. This is we're living in Trump's dream. We're living in Trump's total recall experience right now. That's just the fact of the matter. And now the reason I say that, I'm digging my own grave metaphorically, is that if Trump should die, then I look like a ghoul myself. I look like a monster, right? But I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I think he's going to push through this. I think he's going to be very strong going through it. And then I think he's going to come through it and talk about, here's what I did. He becomes the authority on it. He becomes the hero. Landslide victory in November. Just a landslide victory. The hero's journey, the hero's arc, the plot twist.
So what's the likelihood percentage of that happening?
95%.
Oh wow! So you think he's gonna rise to the occasion?
Well, he's not going to die. You know what I mean? Trump just has to
I
survive.
think he's gonna die. I just don't think he's gonna use this opportunity.
That's different. Yeah, but I mean, I think that. So what I'm saying, Trump lives, he survives, then massive victory. It's just, what do you do to him there, right? And then of course it's good because the ghouls are out wishing him dead. Um, they're doing everything you'd want them to do. If you were playing chess with people, if you were playing chess with people, that's how you have to look at things. Somebody's playing chess with us. If you're playing chess with people, October 1st, October surprise, you move
Where are my Trump bucks?
you move Trump to have coronavirus, and then all the leftist ghouls then go about their nastiness. And then he shows, look, this is what they wanted. This is who they are. This is what we're up against. They want, you know. So you just have to look at it. The chess pieces are being moved in a way that's beneficial for him. By who's doing it? I mean, I don't know, man. God, some science experiment, some computer programmers. I don't know. We're a unique simulation for a lot of reasons because one is there's never been a time where the strong people didn't want war, right? Think about this. Um, yeah, somebody's like, "Do you realize how stupid you sound?" Well, to a fool, I do. Sure, pearls before swine. To somebody who doesn't even know what simulation theory is, then yeah, I probably sound really stupid. But that's just you and your own inadequacies. So imagine this, for example, right? You're watching a movie. The main character gets coronavirus. He survives every time. Pushes through it. The ghouls come out. The Washington Post, yeah, they tweeted out, "What if you never have to imagine about Trump again?" It's like, okay, okay, uh, not a good tweet. Now they're going to say we auto schedule it. So I don't know if you saw it earlier, but the Washington Post tweeted out less than an hour after Trump's coronavirus diagnosis. Imagine we never have to see Trump again or talk about him again. And what they're going to say is, oh, we had an auto tweet scheduled, because they realize, like, man, that was not a good look, right? So they'll be like, oh, it was an auto tweet. Meanwhile, Trump's had to deny white supremacy like 1,000 times, but the Washington Post is going to deny that it was some kind of, dog whistle thing going on here. That's what we're going to do. So the question is, what's next? Well, I mean, there's nothing other than this, right? Do you know what I'm saying? There's nothing that's what blows my mind is I thought that we were all obsessed with Trump in a way that I just wished I could get out of this hell, this matrix of his mind. And you're like, how could you become more obsessed with Trump? How could the world become more obsessed with Trump? Oh, coronavirus. Oh my God. Just like, how do you get media oxygen? How does Joe Biden talk about anything? How does anyone talk about anything except for Donald J. Trump and the coronavirus?
So
Right?
I have a question. When is the next debate scheduled?
It was scheduled for I think the 7th, but they've canceled that one, obviously. So question is, will there be another debate? Now I love how someone says, slap your own face if I hurt you not in a simulation, so you don't know anything. That's the thing. You're a fool. You're a buffoon. You come here thinking you're making a clever point. You're a buffoon. You don't know anything. That's like saying ants don't feel anything because they're in an ant farm. It's like, what? That's how you sound. Well, can't possibly be in an ant farm because the ant feels himself. You can be programmed to feel. You can be programmed for sentience. You can be programmed to have pain. This is not complicated. And an advanced enough, of course, computer system. So it's wild. Well, it's wild. That's for you. Want to take some calls? Anybody want to give me a call? Ask to join the old scope. See what's on your minds. And we'll have Ali join us here in a few minutes. We'll take a few user calls if you wanna. You want to you want to say hi. Lighting's not the best here. I'm a little insecure.
You can turn your lamp on.
I don't have that great lighting, but it's okay.
I mean, do you want me to turn your lamp on?
No, it's okay. But we're talking about serious matters, so
Okay.
I just have to. So yeah, if you click ask to join, there's some kind of button when you post a comment. You can click ask to join, and that's our version of a call-in show. Yeah, I was about to go to bed. Actually, I have to be up early tomorrow. I have to be up at 4 in the morning, and I was about to go to bed, and then my phone's like lighting up like Christmas. Trump's got the Rona. Ugh, are you kidding me? I'm trying to go to bed here. Imagine people on the East Coast. Nobody's getting any sleep tonight.
Someone tweeted Twitter was made for tonight.
Nobody's getting sleep tonight. No one's getting to sleep tonight. So you just give that up. Yeah, I was gonna anyway. Ali, you wanna hop on in here, chat for a little bit? Click the ask to join button and we'll
You want to turn your lamp on?
no, we're fine. I'll live.
I can turn
If you can. Yeah, so we'll get Ali in here if we can. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties and we'll get some other people, do some call ins, and we'll just go from there.
some call.
Well, the media
Live from bed until 4 in the morning.
the media will try to. I mean, they're going to come off ghoulish. That's the whole point. This is a lose lose for the media. There are things that you can't really do, and one of them, the whole dancing on his grave, like the media's trying to do, you can't do that. There's still lines of decency that you can't. So it's lose lose. Everybody has to root for him to win. That was just like Bush 9/11. People forget Bush versus Gore. 9/11 saved the Bush presidency. That's just a fact. All right, 3, 2, 1. How you doing?
How are you doing?
Good, man. What's on your mind?
Oh, that's cool.
I just want to say I just recently watched your movie Hoax, and
Thanks.
it's the best documentary that I've seen about politics. Everybody on the chat, you need to go check out Hoax by Mike Cernovich. It will wake you up.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, hoax movie. Hoaxmovie.com. I'm glad you liked it, man. So what do you think of all this Trump Corona stuff?
I don't know. I don't really expect it. I think it's probably one. I think it's fake. Call me a conspiracy theorist or something, but it's probably just for show. Maybe Trump is using it to, muster up some hype and get some sympathy because people will be more related to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it helps him, right? That's the way I see it. I think it's such an I think it just so unquestionably helps him that yeah. So there's a lot of left wing people already, and this is where again it's like loses for the media. There's a lot of people. I mean, I'll just tell you personally, if this were Hillary Clinton, I would be like, come on, man, come on, right? Come on,
Exactly. Yeah. And
right?
I don't know, it makes me think too with the whole debate thing. They're gonna, they want to shut off his mic and stuff.
Yeah,
That's the first thing that came to my head. Is he trying to play this game like, oh, I'm not gonna do the debates now, maybe, and you guys can go f off, I
yeah.
guess.
I'm
Maybe I don't know.
yeah. I think in this case it's not because there's just too much scrutiny for him, and he could never get away with it if it were. But I'm not like when people are saying that. I just think it's kind of funny. Like I'm not saying that's crazy to think. I go, no, it's real, but I can totally. It's where you say like I can feel your energy. So I don't think he is, but I can absolutely understand why people might think might think that. All right, thanks for the call.
Thank you.
We have another caller right now in. How you doing?
I'm good, Mike. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
Oh man, it's been a crazy night. This is Anthony calling from Phoenix. I remember I was talking to someone just now, a good friend, and I was telling him about how you predicted, like you said that there would be something like that we hadn't seen in generations, and
Right.
you saw this coming on some level. You said that it was too things seemed too easy for Trump to just get reelected. The economy was going well, et cetera, and something massive was going to have to come and shake everything up.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
I knew it because it was so you're exactly right. So I just had a sense that Trump was going to win in such a landslide. The economy was booming, everything was going too well, and I said, "No way in the world." I remember,
yeah,
people can find that tweet. It's like it's one of those things where I don't want to say something vague like Nostradamus, and then people go, "Oh, 100 years ago, Cernovich said that if you threw a coin in the air and it landed on tails, then that would mean that the eggs would hatch." Right? You're just like, no,
totally,
there's
totally.
nothing there. No, but I knew there had to be something, a once in a generation event that would happen, because I knew that there was no way that Trump could just cruise, because it would have been a joke. There'd be no election. I said there's no way in the world that the people who wrote the simulation are going to let us off this easy and just let Trump win that easily. I didn't know what it would be, but I knew it was going to be once in a generation. And then of course COVID hit. Now remember too, not to get too trippy on y'all, but the beauty about being canceled is I can say whatever I want to say. I don't even care. And I was during ayahuasca early January. I saw those. Remember those
The
masks
plague
people,
masks.
the
Yeah, yeah,
plague
yeah.
masks. And right after I came back from my ayahuasca, I said that I saw that. This is before anyone's talking about coronavirus. This was before anybody was talking about a pandemic. I saw people in hospital beds in a pandemic. And there's a timestamp on that podcast too. So it isn't like 3 months later I said, "Oh, and then in January, I saw this." No, in January after it happened, I said I saw people sick everywhere. I saw people throwing up. I saw people wearing those plague masks. I saw a pandemic happening. That's just a fact. And then of course, like a week later, coronavirus hit. That's probably why too. I took it seriously more than other people did, too much to my frustration, because I knew that it was going to be, I didn't think it was going to be as bad as the media spun it out to be, but I knew that it was going to be bad. 100% knew it was going to be bad. And I was like, Cassandra, like, people just listen to me. I'm telling you it's going to be bad. But yeah, that blew my mind that in the ayahuasca experience, I saw a plague, I saw a great pandemic, people dying, people vomiting, people wearing those masks from the plague. I felt like I was watching a plague, and I go, what is this, and where's this even coming from? Because I hadn't been thinking about it, and then like a week later, you're like, oh, there's this thing called coronavirus. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I sensed that right away. Having also met Pachamama a few times, she can
Yeah,
we can see the past, we can see the future sometimes, and sounds like you tapped into something that was coming in. And I guess
yeah.
the last thing that I wanted to say that I've been talking with a lot of friends tonight, and just like I don't know, I just feel like especially this month, it's just we're talking just more deeply, kind of figuring out what's going on, and like I was just having this vision of like being Morpheus in the Matrix with like against Agent Smith, where it's just like I feel like we're up against this big dark energy, this something that's like over us, and it's just like Agent Smith feels so strong and we're like breaking down. But I was telling my friend, like, I feel like we just got to believe that like humans are good and we're gonna figure it out. Like I don't know exactly how or what it is. It's like goes beyond politics, it goes beyond Trump, but like I don't know what that is. I'm just like feeling that we're at such a turning point as a species.
Well, this has been shown that you have to have. This is what they tell you when you do. You have to know that the only way out is through.
Yeah.
And everyone now is afraid to push through. You get hit, oh, that's it, I'm done, it's all over, everything's done. People have this fatalistic mindset because where there's no vision, the people perish. We're a nation without a vision. We're a nation without hope. We're a nation where we don't have faith in the divine, faith in God. and we don't know that the only way out is through. We're in it right now. We're in the shit. How do you get out of the shit? Go through. That's the only way, and we don't have that vision. We don't have that hope. And then the lesson that you learn in life when I takes you to the infinite, when you see the infinite,
Yep.
you realize that if you have hope and if you have love, that the divine, that God is love, that the divine, that the creation, whatever people believe, you realize that it really is love. And you realize the only way, because when I was in, I was seeing things that were terrified. I was terrified.
Yeah. Scary
Terrified.
as shit. Scary as shit. Like, yeah.
And then you realize that, like, you have to lean into love. You just have to push through
Yep.
with love
Yep.
the whole time. Because if you try to fight, if you're in an infinite space trying to fight against evil, they'll crush you because that's more powerful. But then when you just push with love, you push through. And the country has lost that. Trump has not led with love. I've said that in 2017. I said he's not leading with love. I didn't like it. That's why
Yep.
in 2017 I was no longer pro-Trump, because when you win, you lead with love. You show people, I can crush you, I can smash you. Don't get it twisted. This is kindness, not weakness. And he never leaned into it. And then Kanye came in, tried to help lead him. Couldn't do it. Trump couldn't just say, okay, it's okay to lead with love. You can be strong and you can lead with love. No, he didn't want to do it. So now he's got another message from the universe. The universe is giving him another message. So he's got to accept the message, that's for sure, or he's gonna be in. He's gonna be in
Yeah.
for a wild journey. All right,
Yeah.
brother. Thanks for the
Yep.
call.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, strange times. All that January stuff, by the way, 100% true. People who listen to, because I don't promote my podcast a lot or whatever. It's just kind of a insider thing only. I was like, there's a plague coming, a literal one, and then sure enough, it happened. Our ATM prob. We'll see. All right, ATM prob. How you doing? I guess, or maybe not. All right, let's add someone else. Isaiah, what's on your mind?
Hey, wow, how crazy. This might be a simulation because I was really praying this was going to happen.
There you go.
So I'm gonna make an attempt to share a story of mine. So last November I had a dream that I only saw like one frame of a dream. You know, usually when you kind of have like a dream, you see a lot of things. This is kind of like one frame of a movie. I just saw Trump in front of the White House. I saw him with like a fist kind of raised in the air, and it was very intense. It was like a very root chakra kind of guttural feeling I had in the dream. But I didn't think about it. And frankly, I didn't vote in 2016 because I believe that Trump perhaps may have been a bad guy. I wasn't sure. So, all that to say, as I went through the last year, and up until this point that I'm talking with you, and I don't even know who you are actually. I just saw this retweeted on my feed, and I liked what you were saying. I've actually done some of the things you've mentioned before with these kind of visions, if you will. You know, we are in a spiritual battle. It's always been a spiritual battle, but God is good, and there is a plan. And it's so crazy to me, this world that we live in. I walked away from God. I found him in places I never thought I would, and I hated Donald Trump. If you asked me last year, I didn't like him. I didn't think he was a good guy. I didn't find him as a unifying force. Um, and it's so clear to me now. It's so clear that we are watching one of the greatest stories unfold in American history, in world history, and he's going to beat this virus.
Yeah, he has to. Yeah, he definitely has to. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good day.
Yeah, we'll take some more calls here. I'm adding people. I tried to add another person, so we'll keep adding. No, there's a lot of people who are new to Trump. I mean, we hear this all the time in a way that's unbelievable. I know a lot of people, first time Trump voters. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well.
I just wanted to say that I don't think there's any way Dems can really spin this. They've created this big monster that they've been promoting for 9 months. It's this big, scary freak, and now Trump's going to defeat it. What can they say? And that's all I wanted to say. I'll let you go.
All right, thanks. Yeah, brother. That's that. If I were pithy and not a rambler, if I was born a rambling man, then that would be what I would say. This is there's no way to spin it. Trump wins. All right, Sky Alleys. I tried to add you, but we're getting Big Chula. We'll add you here. We'll see. Harvest Moon too. That's a good point, Sean. Full moon. Hold on. I think that fellow was maybe had a little herbal.
Who cares? Don't shame.
I'm not. Did I shame anyone? Did I shame anyone?
Free love.
Brother Ali, welcome.
What a night.
I mean, the Harvest Moon.
We,
Harvest Moon is upon us.
and of course it would happen, and neither one of us would be asleep, right?
Well, I was literally about to go to bed, and then you DM me or texted me, and I wasn't even going to go live. And then your Periscope is so good that inspired me I felt I had to go live. I saw Periscope, and I was like, okay, I should probably go live too.
Well, Mike, we have to push out the good energy, and you've done that for me so many times, and I think that I actually just find it all ridiculous. But I agree with you. It's like this is the main character of the story. We are living in this man's dream. And he's not going to die. The math says it. The story says it. And I think you and I are here as, shamans or priests to kind of guide people through it and free them from hysteria, from the information age.
Yeah, 100%. Hold on, I just got to really zoomed in on my face. What the heck? I'm cute, but I'm not that cute. What the hell's going on?
That's a full gorilla face.
Yeah, what in the world, man? There we go. I like myself, not that much, man. That's for sure. Man, unreal. All right, Dr. Zoomer, we're trying to get you in, Dr. Zoomer. You just here. Flary H. Parker. That sounds like a troll name. So I got to be careful. I don't want trolls are gonna be out in full force tonight, so we got to be a little
full force. I think everyone needs to screenshot everything they see tomorrow. I mean, we really got to be vigilant.
What the heck? It did it again.
Dude. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So that's our. Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know why it's doing that to me. See the simulation's messing. Simulation's messing with me now. Yeah, Sean is all concerned now. Just want people seeing our clothes collection. Yeah. All right, people. Who wants to call in? Give me a call. We'll try to get you to join. We'll try to yeah. You can follow Ali on Twitter, ALI @ALI. Yes, I'm not zooming. It's not me. It's the simulation doing. It's the simulation. Yeah. So I've seen the ghoulish reactions to Trump. Trump wins it. He pushes through. He looks like a hero. He speaks with authority on it. There's nothing. There's no answer for him after this. There's no answer for him.
No, I think it's magnificent. He's gonna. I like that other color. That guy was awesome. Like Trump is going to defeat the left's biggest boogeyman ever. And then what?
All right, Jeremiah. How you doing, my friend?
Hello.
We got you. You're in.
I wanted to say that the coronavirus was started by the Illuminati, and I did have a dream about the church some time ago. I saw myself in a church in Nigeria, and my dad was standing in front of me, and he said that this church committed iniquity, and then we sat down in a round circle, then we arranged the chairs. Then I lost my Bible in the dream, and a woman gave it to me. A woman gave me a Bible, and said, and it has your name on it, and it had Jeremiah 11:11. So basically, God's judgment is about to come, but this is not God. The coronavirus is not God's judgment. The God's judgment is going to come in the tribulation, and coronavirus was started by the Illuminati, as I said before.
Lost you, brother. We got NYM FTW. How you doing? We lost you too. All right, we're dropping callers. We got the art of Siku. Well, Ali's listening. Ali, we have Ali talk to people too. So yeah, Ali, feel free to chime in as people talk. We got another guy joining. How you doing? The art of Siku.
Hi there. Good morning, man. It's London here. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Hey,
I
that's
got.
where Boris beat the virus.
Oh
That's
yeah,
right.
he did.
That's
Yeah,
right.
he did beat the virus. It's amazing, isn't it? I'm particularly struck by what you said. What you said about the hero's journey and Moses, and I was thinking, man, that is absolutely crazy. See, I'm an artist and a theologian, and recently we put a Bible course together, and we mapped out Israel's journey from Egypt all the way to Jericho, and it matches the hero journey template. You know, from the call to the crossing of the Jordan. So you're moving from Egypt into the desert. From the desert, in the desert, you get to a test. From the test, you get to the over again, and then you pull down the walls of Jericho.
Can't hear you, brother.
And so when I heard, yeah.
Can you lean a little bit more into your phone? I can't hear what you're saying.
Okay, sorry, mate. Sorry. Give me a second. My phone is. I'm using a headphone and it's not really working very well.
All good, brother. All good.
Okay. Is this a lot better?
Yep.
Yeah. So what I was saying was, the hero's journey is pretty much mapped out in Israel's journey from Egypt into Canaan. So they get the call, come into the desert and worship me. Then they cross over at Jordan. And then, they cross over at the Red Sea. Then at the Red Sea in the desert. So they're moving from the known world into the unknown world. So now they're in the desert. They get tested. From tested, they die, like all heroes die. And then they resurrect. They resurrect. This is the second generation that's resurrected. And then they cross the Jordan back into the civilized world, back into the known world. And then they destroy Jericho. So when you said that, I was just thinking, how did he get himself mapped in that? That's like crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's wild stuff, brother. Thanks for the call.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I like that interpretation.
Yeah, that's wild stuff, man. People, I like to hear I like to hear the metaphors, man. That was really good. Spiky Hammer, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. It's unfortunate this is my Periscope name. I don't know when I created this, but I guess my question is, obviously you have kids and a lot's changed for you, and I'm about to get engaged, marrying a woman who's going to be in her early 30s and close to having kids. And I guess I feel like you've changed a lot as a person since you've had your children. And I'm curious, going into this election and just where we're at in society, I don't know how that's impacted you and how your vision of how to approach what we're going through today exists because of that. So
Shauna's obsessed with questions like this, because they peripherally involve her. So
of course,
her own millennial narcissism,
and I love that because that's whatever. Yeah, she's great.
Yes, I think the answer is that I wouldn't say that having children changed me, because I've always been a very loving person, but it made me take less risks, before, because when you're living for yourself, it's kind of like YOLO, man. I get all these young men ask me advice, and I'm like, you're 25 and you're not taking any risk.
Right.
What are we even doing with your life, right? Because when you're just your own self, you should do the dangerous things. Not reckless, but you should take the risk. And then when you're older, you want more stability. That's why getting older isn't what makes people become more conservative. Is having children. Is people who are married. You can look at voting demographic. Women with children, right? They just vote differently, and that's because you need to have a functioning society to exist. So I care a lot more about not having. That's why I was always into political violence, the revolution stuff.
Right.
If I didn't have kids, let's have at it, people. Let's have at it, right?
Yeah.
That's literally what I would say. I would be like,
Yeah.
I don't have kids, dude. Let's just shake this thing up, and maybe I'll end up as a warlord or something. Some like legendary figure. But when you have kids, you start to think about families and how that destroys things. And do you want to walk around as a refugee? Do
Right.
you want to become a refugee in your own country? And that's the trend. So I've changed sociopolitically in terms of really caring more about the stability of the country. And that's why when I see what the feral, violent left is doing, the media is doing, I have a real problem with that. So that I would say that's where it changed, is that if I didn't have kids, I would be having the time. I would be out in every one of these events. I'd be having the time of my life.
Oh yeah.
But now you realize you have to have a functioning government. You have to have functioning capitalism. You have to have a free market system. You shouldn't have to wonder if your restaurant's going to be closed down due to coronavirus lockdown, due to a riot, due to something else. By the way, so when you get married, congratulations on that.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2021. We're just trying to finalize that. I have a trip to Thailand next year that hopefully will survive, and then the wedding. So
All right. Well, good luck to you, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Satan.
Jules?
Can't relate. I don't have kids.
Yeah, I know. You're still living the dream, brother. Hi, Jules. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you.
So I just came in here and I wasn't sure what you guys were talking about, but I just wanted to add my 2 cents to the overall Trump coronavirus topic.
Mm-hmm.
Go girl.
I think that it's too much of a coincidence for him to suddenly get corona, at the time of the debate right before the elections. I think it's bullshit. And I have a feeling that it's to prove that HCQ works or to push that, because if they can prove that HCQ works, which is such a cheap, alternative to the vaccine, which has a lot of dangers to it, it's like we can open the country and drop all of that. You know what I mean? So I feel like it might be about that.
What do you think, Ali?
I think I was trying to calculate the odds is who would be behind it, and basically you can't. For me, I can't figure it out. Is this a nefarious domestic player? Is this a nefarious international player? Is this some people are going to say no, this is Trump. He's behind it. So I don't know. I think we'll have to wait a week before we see if there's any tea leaves indicating if there's a motive behind it. But I mean, the timing feels coincidental. The timing feels weird, but isn't that all of 2020 anyway?
I mean, absolutely. I'm waiting for the, staged alien invasion.
Yeah, me too.
But
It'll be demons.
but but
Seriously?
I really listen, he has been talking about HCQ. I know many people that were healed in New York with HCQ and zinc. And maybe he has coronavirus, maybe he doesn't, maybe he did, maybe he already cured himself. I have no idea, but I really believe that he doesn't want to push the vaccine, and I'm not about the vaccine, but everyone can make their choice. But he, even when people ask him about it, he always says, yes, the vaccine is coming and therapeutics. So he was talking about the light therapy before. He has been trying to inject that idea into the public from the very beginning. And like I said, if they can prove that HCQ works and he cured himself with HCQ and zinc, that's it. That ruins this whole corona narrative.
Well, here's what we
So
know. The story doesn't get boring from here. This is not the climax. So something happens after this. And wouldn't that be amazing if we could use some more holistic healing to get the world past whatever we're going through now?
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier today, which is I don't think that Trump could pull off faking a coronavirus diagnosis. There's nothing about his administration that would lead me to that.
True.
However, I said earlier when we first started the show, I understand why people would think that. It's not an idea that I would dismiss out of hand. If people think, well, it works to his advantage, Everybody's going to be talking about Trump now 24/7. It lets him push through this other stuff. He could just say from experience, here's what I tried. I felt good. I survived, reopened the country. I totally, but that's also too why a good conspiracy and a well-written story
Right.
are indistinguishable.
Right.
I just don't I don't know. I see what you're saying, but I think that they have the power with the people behind them to manipulate like the information of when he could have gotten it or not. Like who knows what they do behind the stage. You know what I mean? It's we're just like the little people. Like we're just watching a movie. So everything's planned, you know? So it's like we really the only truth is that we don't know the truth. Everything is speculation. But I don't believe in coincidences, and I think it's a little too coincidental for him to just suddenly have corona now after all this time at the perfect, at this time right now. I mean, it's just it
So,
just doesn't
Jules, do
make
you
sense
think
to me.
he's in on it? If there's a conspiracy, do you think he's in on it?
He is absolutely in on it. I don't know in what way for
Right.
sure, but yes, I do think he's in on it.
So it's like a conspiracy for good.
I think so. Yes, I do.
Interesting.
I do.
And the agenda is to not have to deal with the vaccines, would be your.
So I could start talking about vaccines, but it's just probably going to piss off a lot of people in here. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't think he wants the vaccines. He knows what they are. It's not just your regular vaccine. It has nanoparticles in it that alters your DNA helix, and there's a lot more to all of that. So I don't think he wants the vaccine, and that's why he always talks about therapeutics and HCQ with zinc and the light therapy, which is very legit. I have a holistic company. I know a lot about this stuff. So I really think that he is trying to bring that information to the people. I have no clue if he really has corona or not. I think he's completely in on what he's pushing and not it's not I'm not I understand that everything seems like a conspiracy theory, and I'm not saying he's sitting there with a grand master plan trying to manipulate us with that, but yes, like it's not everything that we see is not really the depth of what's really going on. We just see the very outer layer.
All right, good to hear from you, Jules. Call in anytime, Mr. Ali. You have anything you want to say before she leaves?
Yeah, I think it's something that whenever I am investigating nefarious people, I look for methods instead of intentions or motives. So I try to find methods that I can replicate in confirmed, um, whatever you want to call them, conspiracies, events, or whatever. And then I just say, okay, well, does this line up on this story arc or not? And if it looks similar, it's basically like, if it smells like a duck, quacks like a duck, or whatever, then maybe it's a duck. And so I know that your voice is going to ring in my head, and I'm going to watch this very closely to see if that's the outcome. And it's something interesting to consider.
Yeah, definitely. Well, just
All right,
wanted
Jules,
to
thank you.
just wanted to give my 2 cents. Bye.
Our pleasure. Bye.
Awesome.
All right, friends, I'm here with Ali, Aliyah, A-L-I, on Twitter. You can follow him on Twitter at A-L-I. Getting a little late here. I really am going to try to get some sleep, but we want to take a couple more calls. If you don't already follow Ali, follow him at A-L-I.
That's
But
kind.
I'm glad we got that call, because I completely understand why someone might think that. I don't think that. I think it's a real diagnosis. I don't think it, but I understand why people would think that.
Right. And then people need to understand why. Part of what you alluded to, if I could just explain it out a little bit, is that the Trump people are so uncoordinated, so incompetent, and such
Right.
backstabbers that you can't have a conspiracy in the Trump White House, not for good and not for bad.
Yeah, they get leaked on. I mean, we just know that place is incompetent. All right. Kashik, we have in the call.
Hey, brother Cernovich, man, I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Just wanted to get your thoughts on the Armenia Azerbaijan situation. What are your thoughts on how that's going to escalate with Russia and Turkey?
Yeah, that's a subject that geopolitical stuff I try to be careful of because there's always so much going on. But my friends and extended family group includes Armenians, so we obviously have a bias there. The foreign policy, the problem is that the foreign policy establishment wants to drag us into a war with Russia, but they aren't dumb enough to say we have to go to war with Russia now to help the Turks kill Christian Armenians. You know what I'm saying? That's a little too on the nose for the media people, the anti-Christian media, to come out and admit that. And that's the stalemate. Ordinarily, though, I would be very concerned with escalating tensions. Because remember the first GOP debate in 2015, there was talk that if Russia violated Turkish airspace, then we'd go to war with Russia to defend Turkey. And I think everybody, and that was even when I think Jeb Bush was in a debate, everybody goes, wait, what? We're going to go to war with Russia because of Turkey? If some jet flies over Turkish airspace, what is going on? So there's that sense too, where they technically Turkey's an ally, and because of that, we're supposed to do something if Russia escalates, but I don't see it's going to happen. In terms of Iran, the regime has its own problems. The regime has its own. Well, no, but the idea is a proxy war. It's Turkey and Iran using their proxies fighting in these wars. What do you think, brother?
Well, I'm Armenian, brother, so I have a bias there, but I really appreciate what you do in terms of, the recognition of the genocide and all of that. So just wanted to show some love.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Me too, brother.
Yeah, Lee, I don't know about you, but I'm always really careful with, like, for example, Belarus is having an election. What's my opinion on that? My opinion of that is, I don't know. Could I find Belarus on a map right now that wasn't labeled?
I can't.
Yeah.
I have no tweets dedicated to that, but I have a bunch of DMs of people asking me to weigh in on it, and there's no reason to for me.
What's happening now, though? I'm a friend of the Armenian Christian people.
Yeah.
So I just come out and say I'm friends with the Armenian Christian people, and because of that, I'm just naturally going to say our Christian brothers, our Armenian Christians are the right, even without looking into the weeds of it. But that's not really a good take. That's just me saying I'm biased and I have loyalties and alliances with certain people. That's not it's definitely not objective. All right, we'll take one more call. Anyone? We're here with Ali at ALI on Twitter. Okay, Northwester. We'll try this. We'll try it. Let me see if we can get somebody here on. Didn't work. All right, ATM Prob's been trying. Last call for alcohol. All right, ATM Prob. Hey.
I'm kind of newer to Twitter. I just downloaded it a few months ago and I started following you and, watched your doc and loved it and all that shit. But did you see the replies that were all of the satanic shit and with like memes with them and stuff? Or
there's been more of that on Twitter for sure.
Is that just like normal Twitter trolling?
No,
or
no, that's a new trend. Whether it's trolls or something else is up for discussion. But no, that was a new kind of recent thing, and you're right, that's pretty bizarre. We got Ashley on deck too. I know Ashley. So,
hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? What's on your mind tonight?
Good. Nothing. I was just joining in, and I saw Ali in, and I was like, this past weekend we had gone camping, and it got super smoky, and this is more towards Ali, but Use This Gospel was playing, and the sun was so orange.
Amazing.
And it looked like it was about 5 p.m., but it was like noon, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have a video of it. I need to tweet it out. But I love the Kanye energy, and it's just, I wish people didn't antagonize him as much as he did, because I've always been a Kanye person, and him going into the realm of God is something that is magnificent to me. because
We're all
I've
being
seen
pulled in. You know, we're all being. I think we're all trying to step up our God game because whatever's coming is a reckoning, and I think
right,
you just can't help but notice the contrast in all of our own lives, in Cardi B's lives, in John
yeah,
Legend, and his wife's life. It's just everybody's got to be like playing at their A game. I think spiritually, and signs and wonders, sign and wonders.
right. I've always been a really Christian person, and I've been camping so much this summer, like super grounding myself because that's the only way I can disconnect from all this craziness. And my friends and I were talking and got on the subject of God, and she's very agnostic, sorry. And we were talking about it, and I was just honestly on a tangent of preaching, and she was like, "Wow, you should be a converter." And like that to me said all that I needed to know about the message of God and how easy it is for somebody to think about it.
What do you think of Trump's corona virus diagnosis?
I was going to add in on that. Honestly, I feel like it's more of an electorate thing where Trump to his base is such a superhuman, and I feel like corona humanizes him in a way. And if Trump can have it, anybody can have it, but at the same time, if he gets through it, everybody can get through it. And when you kind of humanize somebody in that way, the electorate sees that, and everybody that's going against him right now cheering on his coronavirus, saying, we want his demise. Those people are already decided voters. They already know what they're doing on November 3rd. And so that's made up. But in this sense, I think it's more towards the electorate of the undecided and how they feel about corona. If he can have it, if he can get through it, then it speaks.
Is it even worth speculating yet? Like on the 5% chance, he does?
No, because then
Like,
it's all over anyway. And
Yeah.
there's no story then. The story's over if that happens. We all
yeah.
just
Yeah,
wait for that. Yeah, wait for
right,
the code to collapse.
right.
All right, brother Ali, close this out. What's on your mind? And let's get I'll try to get some sleep.
Yeah, I just think it's really good. I think the energy in this chat room, the energy, I think everybody's kind of doing their own thing, but I feel like we're all kind of coming together to some new reality. And I can't help but, I'm naturally a pessimist, and I can't help but be a little optimistic for humanity, and even in some type of exodus or despair, destruction. I think that people who are listening to this Periscope are more likely to be all right than the general public. And so, thanks, Mike, for bringing us all together.
All right, friends,
Yeah.
good talking to everyone. Well, hopefully we can get some sleep. Good luck.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it, Mike.
bless you all.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.